Now let's get more on the news that police in Portugal are understood to suspect a foreign paedophile of being involved in the disappearance of Madeleine McCann. Portuguese police are said to have boosted their case squad after information was passed on by Scotland Yard. I'm joined now by the co-author of Looking for Madeleine, Anthony Summers. Anthony, thanks very much for joining us on the programme. What more have you heard about this potential new suspect?
I know a little that I can't talk about because of police sources. But I think what strikes me as really remarkable, even now, struck us when we were writing the book, is the multiplicity of pedophiles in the area of Praia da Luz. It's really extraordinary, looking back, that the police have so many suspects. They have suspects because they're already suspects. People who've been questioned about other disappearances, other assaults on children. And I suppose in a way there's some logic to that. This is a part of Portugal that is flooded with children, particularly British children, in the summer months. But still, unless you're into the story and you've worked the case, it's hard to imagine that there could possibly be such a number of paedophiles all in one area.
So you've always believed, have you, that it was a paedophile that was behind Madeleine's disappearance?
I think rationally there are only three sensible conclusions. One is that she simply is a little girl, a very bright little girl, that she may have wandered out into the night and had something awful had befallen her. The second, that it was, and the police did consider this at great length, because there had been a lot of burglaries in the place where she was staying, that there was a burglary that went badly wrong and in some way she was killed, possibly because a burglar was trying to keep her quiet. And the third, and for me, because of the number of suspects and the evidence that the apartment had been watched, the strongest suspicion was that a paedophile was involved.
Our crime correspondent, Martin Brunt, has said that there's a sense of renewed optimism at Scotland Yard. They've asked for another 12 months' money to fund their investigation, as opposed to asking for just 6 months. Is that the sense you get?
Well, I think that's entirely rational. There had been the buzz going around that the investigation was going to be wrapped up finally after more than £11 million. And that the police would not be very welcome if they said to the government, we want just a little more time. And they've been getting small amounts of money for a matter of months at a time. But this time, they have asked for a year. And it's a clear indication, I think, that whether they're right or not, they believe they have something rather solid to go on.
And how big is the investigation in terms of the Portuguese police at the moment?
That's harder to judge. I think both teams have been boosted at the moment and increased because of this new lead.
Do you think we'll ever finally know what happened to Madeleine?
I talked to a Scotland Yard source some months ago who said that, and policemen would, you know, because that's how detectives, the auto da fe of the detectives, that every case is solvable in the end. Stay at it long enough, chip away at the information available, and you will get somewhere. And he said he thought this case was eminently solvable. I suspect that at the moment, the thinking at Scotland Yard certainly is that they have something and that there is a possibility that happily, or I think more probably very unhappily, that the result will be unhappy, that they may find out get a real sense of what happened.
And the waiting goes on for Madeleine's parents, of course.
Awful, unthinkable sentence. It must surely be a relief for them, whatever the outcome. But look, one shouldn't look just at the dark side. The probability that little Madeleine, now rather grown-up Madeleine, 16 years old this year, has gone, I think is enormously likely. On the other hand, 56% of children who disappear in the United States, which is the only place where there are any statistics worthwhile, 56% of them are found alive eventually. And that's something I'm sure, a thought that the McCanns must cherish.